With that said, today we are speaking with a mother fighting to free her son, one likely of those 240. He was taken by Hamas more than 3 weeks ago during that October 7th terror attack on Israel. Video has surfaced of her son, Israeli-American Hersh, during his abduction from the deadly music festival attack. He has not been heard from since. His mother, Rachel, joining us now live from Jerusalem. Thank you, Ms. Goldberg, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
We are here more than 3 weeks in. Difficult question, trite, simplified, but give me an idea of where your head's at. What are you thinking?
Well, as I've said many times, I'm really on a different planet than the rest of sort of normal people. And it's very difficult to describe what we're going through. A lot of people say, I can't imagine what you're going through. And I am often saying, I also can't imagine what I'm going through. Mm-hmm. And it's difficult to describe. It's sort of like describing to someone who was born blind and has never seen in their entire lives what the color red is. You know, I don't even have the words to try to describe to you what our life is like. And, you know, we vacillate between praying that somehow he got the medical attention that he so desperately needed after having his arm blown off in this attack on these barefoot, crunchy granola hippies at a peace and unity music festival, international music festival. So I vacillate between worrying about that and thinking maybe he died 2 weeks ago and I don't even know. Maybe he bled out in the truck that they put him on when they were kidnapping him, and I don't know. So here I am 26 days in with zero information.
Yeah, he was one of the teens at that festival. Ms. Goldberg, what do you know empirically, empirical data? What do you know happened to your son, or do you not know? And but you know, you've heard stories of a man trying to save your son also trying to save others. What do you know
about the actual attack?
The attack, aftermath, the loss of his arm, etc.
So the actual, you know, when all the kids went scattering, when Hamas arrived and started just mowing down people with submachine guns, and there were almost 300 of them who were killed in that way, and many were just grabbed and taken, kidnapped. Hersh and his best friend, whose name was Honor, ran and escaped with a bunch of other kids from this festival into a roadside bomb shelter, which was then Hamas descended upon this bomb shelter, was throwing in hand grenades. That Honor was standing in the doorway and actually was able to pick up and repel and keep throwing out 7 of those hand grenades. 3 of them did make it inside and detonate in this tiny room with 29 kids mashed in, so there was a lot of carnage. They then fired in an RPG into this small room and then sprayed the room with machine gun fire. So most of those kids were dead. Many of them were extremely badly wounded, and some were underneath the dead and wounded and pretending to be dead. And it is from those eyewitnesses that we found out that when Hamas entered after the dust settled, they said to Hersh and to 3 other boys who were slumped on against the wall, all injured in different ways, they told them to stand up and come outside. And that's when all of the eyewitnesses told us that Hersh's left arm from the elbow down had been blown off. He had somehow fashioned some sort of bandage or tourniquet, and he and the other boys were put on the back of a pickup truck that was headed toward Gaza. And his last cell phone signal was at 10:25 in the morning, Saturday morning, October 7th. Subsequently, we did get actual footage of him getting onto that truck from Anderson Cooper from CNN, who was interviewing us, and through the interview realized he recognized who Hersh was.
Wow.
So that, you know, has been a crazy part of this story. And now we actually have footage of what happened to him.
So you know he was badly wounded, but you know he at least initially survived. You have family in the Chicago area. And
John and I both grew up, were born and raised in Chicago. Our mothers live in Chicago. John's sister, all of our extended cousins, everyone. We pay Illinois taxes. Like, we are Chicagoans.
I think
Big.
everybody pays Illinois taxes,
Right,
but not to make anything. But yes, you have deep ties to Chicago, and in the Chicago area, though, a mother-daughter who were just released. Has that given you any hope? Not the Chicago connection, but just that there is a possibility that a release and a reunion may happen?
Well, every time any hostages, there have been 4 that have made it out so far out of the, they're now saying it's 149 being held. The number keeps going up. But when we heard that Natalie and Judith Raanan from Evanston were released, of course, we, had this finally this moment of thank God, we know exactly what their family was going through. So it was nice for us to have a moment of feeling happy and relief for them. And we pray, just all around the clock that we could have such a wonderful thing happen to us and to the rest of the hostages. He's our Hersh, but there are 149 Hershes there. Everybody has somebody there. This is from 33 different countries around the world. There are Jews, Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus. There are people. This is an international humanitarian catastrophe. If this happened, and I told you exactly what happened, and that was from 33 countries with all these different religions and all these different people, not to mention babies up to grandparents at 85 years old, and they were all being held in Kentucky, I feel like the world would do something about it. But because it's being conflated as part of, what's happening right here locally, the world is not screaming about it.
Right, because some people think it's the Middle East, this happens in the Middle East, so on and so forth. I pick up what you're throwing down, Mom. Have you allowed yourself to feel, or are you in some suspended super mom mode, hostage negotiator? Have you sat back and felt what is actually happening yet?
Well, I have a few times a day, I turn to the team. We have this incredible group of angels who descended on us on October 7th and have not left us. They're at our house around the clock, working hard, all different types of strategies to try to help save these people. Obviously, we're closest to Hersh, but we're trying to save everybody that we can. And I will turn to the team at different times during the day and I say, I'm just going downstairs to cry. I'll be back. And I go into my room and I, have my breakdown and I scream into a t-shirt and I do what I need to do. And then I say, okay, I've got a job to do. I'm trying to save my son's life, praying that he's still alive, save other people. And I wipe off my face and I go back upstairs and I go back to battle. And that's what I feel like.
Rachel Goldberg, thank you for sharing your story with us, moving us today. And we promise to stay on this, and we promise to keep you, your son, and his fellow hostages in our thoughts. But blessings to you, and thank you for making some time for us.
Many thanks to you, really.